So we got to understand whatever it is we want to be or become, whatever it is we want to improve or get better at, we got to make sure that we are consuming the information, the knowledge, the things that we need in order for us to be and become that, right? Think about it. If you want to be healthy, you got to consume healthy foods. Not saying you can't eat candy or have, little snacks or whatever, but consistently you must consume healthier foods in order to be or become healthy. What up, everybody, man? It's your boy JK, man. Today is Thursday, so you already know what it is. It's Taco Thursday with JK, live on IG, live on Facebook, and I'm recording for my YouTube channel, Jeremy Kellem. So y'all make sure y'all go subscribe after this episode of the podcast. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jeremy Kellem. Man, today we are tackling the topic, the Flamingo Effect. I know y'all like, what? Like, yeah, the Flamingo. You heard it, Flamingo. The Flamingo Effect. That is the topic that we are tackling. Right? That's the topic we tackling today. And so what I mean by Flamingo Effect, right? Before I'm going to get into it, I'm going to explain it a little bit more. We're going to tackle this topic together, the Flamingo Effect, right? But what color, first I want y'all to answer to y'all, say, what color is a flamingo, yo? Like, what color is a flamingo? Because when I grew up, flamingos were pink. You feel me? So I'm going to the zoo, watching on TV. Hey, flamingos are pink. All right, even when I be going, me and my wife be going over the note cards, the little cards we be reading with our kids, you get to the color pink or whatever, you see a flamingo, right? So we think that flamingos are pink. And so I'm going to get into a little bit the true color of a flamingo, and you might already know, you feel me? But anyways, we're going to talk about the Flamingo Effect, right? And what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the Flamingo Effect is that we as people, we become what we consume. Right? We become, we accomplish the things that we accomplish based off what we consume, right? And so many times, if we are honest, we all want to accomplish more. We want to do more. We want to be more, right? There are goals that we set, things that we want to do in life, and we want to get to another level in areas of our lives, but we're not willing to consume the things that it is that we need to consume in order to get to that next level or in order to accomplish what it is that we're trying to accomplish, right? We look at people on TV or people in our profession or people that we see or deem to be successful, and we say to ourselves, like, man, like, well, I'm trying to, like, not that you want their life, but you trying to get that type of success in your own life, and you like, yo, I'm trying to get where they at, or I'm trying to reach new heights like they reaching new heights, but we don't know what it is that they're consuming. We don't know what it is that they're researching, they're reading, they're studying, they're consuming day in and day out in order to accomplish the certain goals and things that they're trying to accomplish, right? And so if you're on Facebook, man, go ahead and drop your name in the chat so I can know who is watching, who tuning in, man. I can see you on IG, but I can't see you on Facebook, right? And so we got to understand that, hey, if I can't just want to be something or want to accomplish this, right? And not be willing to consume what it is I got to consume in order to be or accomplish that, right? Because when we stay in this mindset as I want this, but I'm not willing to do or consume the things that it is I need to do or consume, we end up going through some emotional pain, frustration, because we're like, man, I desire this so bad, but why is it not happening, right? And so we got to understand that a lack of consumption limits us in areas of our lives, right? So, for instance, if which I do, right, I want to be a better husband, right? I want to continue to grow and be a better husband, right? And so for me to be and become a better husband, I must consume information, wisdom, knowledge that would help me in return be and become a better husband? I gotta talk to other couples. I watch relationship shows. Even though, some be reality, some be real life thing, I watch different things about relationships because I can pull and learn from different relationships and marriage to help me be and become a better husband, right? So because I want to be a better husband, I got to make sure that I consume things and information that will help me be a better husband, right? Same thing with my scholars. My scholars, they be like, man, I want straight A's, Mr. Kellem. I'm like, oh, okay. If you want straight A's, then you got to consume the information and the knowledge in the classroom and at home. And I realized that the scholars that consume the most information in school and at home consistently are the ones that get the A grades, right? Because like I said, a lack of consumption will limit us. So as a husband, if I say I want to be a better husband, but I'm not striving to continue to develop as a person, as a husband, if I'm not consuming information, if I'm not talking to other couples, if I'm not, allowing iron to sharpen iron, and I'm just barely consuming information, or I'm not even trying to grow as a husband, then I will suffer and lack in that area. Why? Because where there is a lack of consumption, I will be limited. Same thing with my scholars. Like I say, the scholars that don't really consume a lot of information, they don't pay attention in class, and they barely consume the information we go over, and then at home they barely consume the information. These are scholars that are limited academically. Not that they don't have the intellectual ability. Yeah, they got the intellectual ability. They have the ability and the potential to reach and achieve academic success, but they don't consume enough of the information. And if you don't consume enough of the information in the classroom and at home, you won't be or become an A student, right? I want to have better business acumen. I want to learn. I want to be more financially literate, right? And so I look sometimes. I'm like, man, I want to grow. I want to learn more about investing in stocks and all of that, right? And then God, like, man, what's stopping you, bro? Like, what is really stopping you from doing that? There's so many resources out here to learn more about finances and investing and all of that. What's stopping me? Nothing, right? It's me. I gotta take the opportunity to consume more of that information, because I can't be a better businessman, or I can't grow in my knowledge as it pertains to finances if I don't consume the information. So we got to understand, whatever it is we want to be or become, whatever it is we want to improve or get better at, we got to make sure that we are consuming the information, the knowledge, the things that we need in order for us to be and become that, right? Think about it. If you want to be healthy, you got to consume healthy foods. Not saying you can't eat candy or have, little snacks or whatever, but consistently you must consume healthier foods in order to be or become healthy. You got to exercise consistently. You got to consume that consistently in order to continue to grow and to be healthier. Right? So we got to understand that where we have lack of consumption in areas of our lives, we will be limited. We will never be and become the best that we can be and become in areas of our lives if we're not consistently consuming what it is that we need to consume and take in order to be the best that we can be. Right? And so when I'm talking about the Flamingo Effect, right, because that's the topic that we're tackling today, the Flamingo Effect. I said, what color is a flamingo? You feel me? What color is a flamingo? Most people, I asked my scholars this today. I said, hey, what color is a flamingo? They said pink. I said, yeah, I thought so too, right? But a flamingo is not pink. It's not pink. A flamingo is white. It has white feathers, right? The reason why that the pigmentation, the color of the flamingo changes to pink, from white to pink, is because of what it consumes. right? So the flamingo becomes what it consumes, right? So it eats shrimp, it eats plants and different things like that. So it does not become a shrimp or a plant. However, based on the foods that the flamingo consume, impacts the color that the flamingo becomes. So based on what the flamingo consumes determines how, like, you know what I'm saying? That determines the color of the flamingo. And so likewise with us, when I talk about the flamingo effect, I believe the same thing applies with us as humans. That what we consume, we will become whatever it is that we consume. Whatever it is. So if we set our goals and say that I want to be an A student, so you got to consume what it is you need to consume in order to be and become that A student. If it is, I want to be, I want to make it and play professional sports, right? Not saying that just because you consume it is you're guaranteed, but to even have an opportunity of getting to that level, you got to consume the game. You gotta consume the lifestyle. You gotta consume the work habit, right? And the thing, the work ethic. I remember coaching when I was coaching high school football, and asking, you know, it'll be a Monday. I'll be like, hey man, y'all watch the game last night? Nah, coach, we don't watch football, huh? But y'all want to go to college, but you don't watch college football. Y'all want to go to the league, but you don't watch the sport that you play. I find that hard to believe. Like, I had teammates that don't watch football at all, and they were great players. But I truly find it hard to believe for you to be and become the best version of yourself as an athlete. It is hard to be and become that if you don't consume that sport, if you don't watch that sport. If you're not a student of the game, I find it very, 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 very hard because you become what you consume. So how can I become the best player that I possibly want to be or can be if I don't consume the game, if I don't watch the game, if I don't consume the lifestyle, right? And so that's what I mean by flamingo effect, is that we become what we consume. And that could work on the negative side as well. That if I consume negativity, then I'll be negative because that's what I consume, right? And those that are, you know, that are believers, right? Like myself, a Christian, believer in Jesus Christ, the Bible even talks about how even it don't say the flamingo effect, but it basically references the flamingo effect in the Bible, right? So when you look in the Bible, Romans chapter 10, verse 17, it talks about how faith comes from hearing the message, right? And then the message is heard through the word of Christ, through Christ, right? And so, in other words, basically, what the Bible is really saying is like, hey, if you want to grow in your faith, right? And so believers, you know, we talk about faith and we talk about being faithful and wanting to grow and be faithful and growing our faith. And God is like, okay, if you want to be faithful, if you want to grow in your faith, you can be and become more faithful. You can grow in your faith as a believer in Christ, as a servant of God, by what you consume. Like I say, Romans 10 and 17 says, consequently, faith comes from hearing the message, and the message is heard through the word about Christ. So it's saying that the only way you get faith is by through what you consume. So if I want to be more like God, I got to consume more of the word of God. If I want to be more faithful or increase in my faith as a Christian and a believer of Christ, I got to consume more of his word. I got to spend more time with him, right? So the thing, what I find out was kind of quite interesting. I don't know if this is true, so don't mark my word on this. I don't know if this is true, right? But say this, what if, right? So a flamingo is not pink. A flamingo becomes pink based off of what it eats. So in other words, you become what you consume, right? And so I noticed we took my son and daughter to Boo at the Zoo, right? And they had flamingos. And I noticed that there was some all pink flamingos. Then there was some flamingos that were mainly white with a little pink on the legs, and then there was some that were kind of spotted pink sporadically, right? And so what if, I don't know this to be true, but just listen to what I'm saying. What if the more you consume, the more a flamingo consumes, like food, right? The more shrimp and plants that it consumes, the darker, the more pink they become. In other words, the more that they consume, the more food that they eat, the pinker they become. And the less that they consume, the less pink that they become. What if that's true? And we apply that to our lives, right? Right? And based on how much we consume can determine how great we be and become. So as a husband, I want to be a better husband. What if, and it works kind of like this. Based on how much information, how much self-development I am all about consuming can determine on how great of a husband I be and become, right? Same thing with my scholars in class. See, some scholars, they give me a little bit of effort. They consume the information a little bit. And guess what? They get kind of a good grade. They get a C, right? But my scholars who consume all the information or most of the information in class, and then they go home and they consume the information, these are the students that are kind of like the dark pink flamingos, potentially. That the more you eat as a flamingo, what if that's the darker your pink is? Just like in humans, like scholars in school, the more information they consume in class and at home, the better their grades will be. The more information you consume about businesses and financial literacy, the more informative you will be when it comes to finances. The better you will be when it comes to handling your finances. Why? Because you are a consumer. You consume this information. And so when I'm talking about the flamingo effect, and I know people, just hopped on the flamingo effect, right? I'm asking a question, what color is a flamingo? Most people would say pink. A flamingo is white. A flamingo turns pink based off what it eats. In other words, a flamingo becomes what it consumes. Just like us, whatever it is we want to be in life, whatever it is we want to accomplish in life, we will be and accomplish that based off of what we consume. So if I work hard a little bit, then I might be a little bit good at football. But if I put tirelessly or endlessly work in to be and become the best that I can be, then I can be a greater football player. If we look at Steph Curry, killing the game right now. Steph Curry consumes a lot of basketball. His jump shot is great, not because he don't practice it. Yes, his daddy got a stroke. He can shoot that thing, right? And you can look at that as he inherited a good jump shot. But what we don't, all of us don't know about Steph Curry is, like in high school, I believe, he had to change his whole shot. So he had to start all the way over. But he consistently consumed himself. He consumed basketball, and he worked hard, and he invested in, he worked and tried the jump shot over and over and over and over. And then now he has become, arguably, to me, the greatest shooter of all time. Why? Because he has consumed it. Yes, you could say a lot of it is God-given. He got it from his daddy, right? But he has also put the work ethic in to be and become who he is today. So we got to understand, if I truly, truly want to be something, if I truly, truly want to accomplish something, I got to be willing to consume the information, the time, the sacrifice, the work. I got to be willing to consume what it is that I need to consume in order to develop and grow and be and become what it is I want to be and become. All right? So that's the Flamingo Effect. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Flamingo Effect. We become what we consume, right? And so if you trying to figure out, why haven't I reached my goal? Why haven't I accomplished my goal in life? Ask yourself, am I consuming enough? Am I studying enough? Am I practicing enough? Am I working hard enough? Am I doing the things that I need to do in order to elevate my game to another level in any area of your life, right? So but definitely though, so that's what I got for today, man. You know, the Flamingo Effect. Understand, we become what we consume, and that could be positive or negative, right? And so I do want to open it up, man. If anybody got any question or comments, I definitely drop that in the chat for the Tell 'em Kellem portion of the segment, which is open up for any questions, comments that y'all might have for me. Please go ahead and drop that in the chat. I'll give it like 30 seconds. Anybody got any questions, comments? And you know, if not, you know, I'll go ahead and sign off myself. Hey, y'all, make sure y'all check me out this Saturday on ESPN Plus. ESPN Plus on at 2:30 Central, 3:30 Eastern. I'm calling the MTSU Old Dominion football game. It should be a good one, a very competitive one. Both are vying for bowl eligibility. So they both teams got a lot to fight for. So definitely excited about that, man. Me and my boy Jake Rose, y'all go follow Jake, man. Jake on the mic. That's his Instagram name, Jake on the mic. All right, go follow him, man. And like I say, you know, root to the good bros, man. Yesterday was Founders Day, man. So root to all the good bros. All happy Founders Day, which was yesterday. To all the amazing men of the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. All right, so man, root to the good bros. And yeah, so man, if nobody got any question or comment, man, I'll go ahead and sign off. Y'all continue to wake up, striving to win on purpose, be intentional about winning, and y'all have a blessed day, man. I'll see y'all next week, Lord willing, man. And make sure y'all catch me this Saturday on ESPN Plus. And man, go subscribe to the YouTube channel, man. Jeremy Kellem